Circles and rectangles and triangles are cool, but what if you want to create a more custom shape? Well, luckily we have a bunch of tools that give us that option. So if you go to this tool, it might look like this convert point tool for you, but if you click on it, you have a few different options. You have a pen tool, a freeform pen tool, and a curvature tool, and plus a couple other ones that will help us with these tools. Let me just quickly show you what you can do with these. So we're going to turn our fill to blue. Our stroke is still black. Now with the pen tool, what you can do is click, 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 and now we have created a closed shape. And that's typically what you'll want to do when creating a shape is close it, create a closed shape. So this is a quick custom triangle. Let me delete that. Let me show you what else you can do. By just clicking once, you create a sharp corner. But if you click and drag, it creates a rounded corner. Now we can close that shape. Now, what you can do with the pen tool is if you hover over these points, these anchor points that you've created, if you click on it, if you see the mouse, it looks like a minus point. If you click on it, it's going to subtract that one. So that's how you can quickly get rid of them, or you can add more back. Now, say you add these two, but you want to move it around. The easiest way to do that is just to hold the command key down, or control if you're on a PC, and now you can move this around. So it kind of changes your selection tool or your pen tool to a direct selection tool where you can actually move these anchor points around. You can actually select multiple anchor points. So I'm holding the command button down and then holding shift as well to select these 2 points. And then just with the command button down, held down, I can now move these points and move them around. Now you'll notice that if I click on one of these points that is a curve, you see these little handles that are protruding from it. This helps us create or adjust the curve. So you can extend it, you can rotate it. So see, if I extend and rotate, that creates a pretty incredible shape right there. You also have these specific add anchor point or delete anchor point tools if for some reason you just want to have a tool that does those things specifically. You also have this convert anchor point tool, which allows you to click and drag on a sharp edged corner and turn it into a curved anchor point. Cool, huh? And with this tool, you can also do the reverse. So let's go back to our pen tool. So that's the pen tool. So you can imagine creating some cool sort of wave effect or waves like so. And then you'd have to go in here and adjust the angle of these. Whoops. So holding down the Option key actually makes sure your mouse the convert anchor point tool. So if you're on here, you don't have to go change it in this menu. You can just hold the Option key, and that's going to change that into a sharp or a curved edge. So just playing around here really quick, trying to get some cool waves. All right, so you would see this, you'd have to mess around with this a little bit more to get this to look like actually waves. But anyways, I'm going to show you another tool that's going to make this even easier. So there's our waves, our weird waves. It looks like bunny ears kind of too. The next tool I want to show you is the freeform pen tool. So this allows you to literally just draw, and it will create a shape for you. It will add anchor points wherever it thinks you want anchor points. And so that's a quick way to actually custom draw something. This would probably come out a lot better if you had a stylus and not using a mouse. And then the last tool I want to show you is the Curvature pen tool. And this is my favorite custom tool to use, and it comes from Adobe Illustrator. Now what it does is it kind of intelligently creates curves for you depending on where you put your anchor points. So you can actually create some pretty custom shapes, and you can see here that depending on where I put the points, it will actually create a pretty good wave or custom shape for us, and it's just better than what I could do freehand or even with the pen tool. Now, a couple things to note: if you're just clicking once, it's going to automatically create a curve. But if you click twice or double click, that point becomes a sharp-edged point, okay? So that way, let's go undo that, and then you could also double click points after the fact to make them sharp or curved. So this way you can actually create a pretty dang good wave. So let's actually start from scratch, and I'll show you. So if we know this point's going to be sharp edge, then we're going to put a point at sort of the apex of the curve, and then this is going to be the tip of the wave, so we double click to make that a sharp edge. Again, we put it sort of at the inside apex. I don't know if that's the actual correct term for it. Again, curve, 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 apex, or not the apex, but the point of the wave, and double click there. And that one's double click, double click, double click. So again, this was super, super quick, but out of the three of them, I would say that that bottom one with the curvature tool was a lot easier to use and was way better at creating waves. You know, we can now delete these top ones because those ones kind of sucked. And we can now duplicate these ones and create sort of a cool graphic with these waves going on. Let's put the biggest one in the background. This one over here. And maybe even if we take the stroke off, that might look kind of cool. If we take the stroke off, let's take all of these, take off our stroke. We could change the color of some of these, just make them subtly different shades of blue so that it separates them. Now we're starting to get kind of a really cool wave graphic. Maybe this goes at the bottom of our frame, and at the top of the frame, you know, you add your text, your graphics, or whatever. But those are a few different options for creating custom shapes. And really, that's the best way to learn, is just to practice. Just click around, literally just take a tool, click around, see what happens, hold the option buttons down, hold the command buttons down, see what's different, and play around with it. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.